Hi, I'm Grant Stern, and I'm here for Pinnack News. Today, we're interviewing Lucas. Lucas lives in Gainesville, Florida. He was driving through a area near Gainesville when he was pulled over by Alachua County sheriffs in full camos and armored vehicle for the terrible crime of flipping them the bird. Lucas, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
So, is this the first time that you heard the police officers?
Can you say that again?
Lucas, is this the first time that you flipped the bird at the police?
It's definitely the most memorable time. I would probably say this may have been the first time that I've done it and they've seen it.
Okay. Well, they certainly took note. So walk us through what happened.
Right. So I'm driving my car down University Avenue here in Gainesville, Florida, which, if y'all didn't know, is home to the University of Florida. Very prestigious school worldwide. And
but it's a small town, right? It's not a really big city. It's a very small town.
It's a very small town.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very small town. I'd probably say less than 200,000 registered voters.
Okay.
Yeah, so that kind of gives you a baseline of where we're at population-wise. So yeah, it's a very small town. I'm driving down University Avenue, and the football stadium is to my right, and I look over and I see this tank, or armed personnel carrier, as I found out that it's called by the professionals.
The APC.
Yeah, and I see a bunch of people in camo gear inside with Kevlar and everything, and there's a big anti-police militarization sentiment that's been growing in this country ever since Ferguson.
Sure.
And for some people, it was growing before. For me, I didn't like it before then, but I think Ferguson really opened people's eyes up to it, about how they can ramp it up really quick, in a day.
Sure. And this, I mean, we're not talking about a high crime neighborhood, are we?
Definitely not. This is where college kids live,
This is like the main draft of Gainesville. The campus surrounds the stadium, and this is like the main strip that goes past the stadium, right?
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
So yeah, this is not a very high crime area. Definitely not the kind of crimes where you would be seeing the need for an armed personnel carrier. So, I see this armed personnel carrier. And by the way, I saw the John Oliver video about the police militarization, and I really liked that too. So, I've been doing some thinking about this before it happened. It's not like it was a spur of the moment. Here's the police. I'm going to act irrationally. So, I see them, and the only way that I can think to express my dissatisfaction with, one, the fact that they're dressed up like G.I. Joes when I'm a veteran. And
okay,
two,
now, wait a second. You're a veteran? Where did you serve? What branch and for how many years?
So I was in the Navy as an air traffic controller. I was stationed at Patuxent River, Maryland, which is a test and evaluation base. We test and evaluate new aircraft before they go to the fleet. And I did 3 years in the Navy, and I got out as a conscientious objector and went to work for Adam Kokesh.
Okay. I mean, 3 years is a long time. So you're used to following rules.
Yeah, it sucks. But anyone out there who's thinking about joining the military, don't.
Well, that's another interview. But before you top off, did you know that you were on solid legal ground?
I did, because I'm the weird kind of guy who goes and listens to oral arguments in Supreme Court cases, and weird. I recently listened to the Phelps case, which is a Supreme Court case that has to do with free speech, where, as you know, the Westboro Baptist Church was protesting funerals, and the court upheld that was protected speech. So recently I had listened to that, and I knew I knew that, you know, freedom of speech covers a simple hand gesture, you know.
Sure.
But
And it
also,
also covers photography, which you then
right,
later use.
right. So, and then, you know, since this has happened, I went and looked up and saw that the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled in a 14-page opinion that, and this is a quote: "Ancient gesture of insult is not the basis for reasonable suspicion of a traffic violation or impending criminal activity." And that was from an incident that occurred in 2006.
Okay.
So, and I think that it could be agreed. I think that a reasonable person could agree that it is a gesture of an insult. And I think that court's decision pretty clearly says that I'm allowed to do it.
Yeah, it says that's not enough to reasonably suspect that you've done anything wrong while driving. Now, these officers said that you know, oh, it was a bad signal, right? That was their words.
Can you say that again?
The officers, yeah, the reason for pulling you over was the hand gesture, right?
Right. Yes. It was. I was actually warned for, and they went and told the newspaper that they actually gave me a warning, and some guy signed it. This is all the stuff they're telling the paper. I didn't get any kind of. I didn't get any kind of a written warning. I wish I did. That way I could distribute it and show everyone how ridiculous this is.
Well,
I guess they saved us the life.
Look, since you have the opportunity to do it now, can you give the police your warning not to violate your civil rights right here? Let me hear it.
Well, you know, I'm actually in the process of filing a formal complaint with the Alachua County Sheriff's Office. You know, I doubt. I hope this isn't going to happen again, and I'm thinking that the reaction has been significant enough to let them know that the people here aren't a big fan of tanks performing routine traffic stops on our streets. The local media has picked it up, and people are talking about it. It's a big issue. So, you know, I don't think that I have to, you know, give them any kind of a warning or anything like that. You know, I think that there may be a civil suit, and really that's not a warning. So I'm not really in a position to give any warnings. I'm kind of fire. You know, I'm kind of beyond the warning at this point. I'm gonna file a suit. So
okay, no warnings necessary. Well,
yeah.
You ran for city commissioner in Gainesville recently, right? Was that your first time running for public office?
Well, before I had filed the paperwork to run for county commissioner, and then I realized that it would be way easier to run for city commissioner, so I quickly withdrew my name. And I did run for city commission on a platform of demilitarizing the police. I ran on a platform of equipping the officers with police body cameras and stopping enforcement of small amounts of marijuana, because here in Florida, it's still a misdemeanor. So I know everyone out in California, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, they forget we still get arrested down here, you know.
Right. So do you think that this incident will have an impact on your city council candidacy?
Well, you know, the election's already passed, and I didn't win, so it won't have any impact on it. You know, maybe
next time.
Yeah, maybe if I decide to run in the future, it'll give me some credibility, because I think that it's sad how a lot of the politicians want to take what they believe to be the politically correct position to always take the side of the police or to never say anything bad about the police, when I think that people are ready for a candidate who's going to be honest about the police's wrongdoings and things that we can do to make this better.
Well, Lucas, I know you've got to get going, and I really appreciate you hanging around for the interview. Is there anywhere that people who are interested in finding out more can reach out to you and say hi on Instagram or Twitter, Facebook, anywhere on social media?
Yeah, people can just add me on Facebook, facebook.com/Jewell, Jville. My Instagram is Smackaholic,
Okay.
SMACKOLICK. I think that's right. But yeah, Smackaholic. So that's how they can contact me if they want. I don't do the Twitter.
Okay. Well, again, Lucas, thanks for coming on the program. I'm Grant Stern, and this is PINAC News. Be the media.